Don't get me wrong, I love winter camping. From the epic views to the completely empty wilderness, there's something to be said about spending the night in the wilderness where temperatures get below -20. That said, it sucks waking up, getting out of your warm sleeping bag, having to change into all your winter clothes before going out in the freezing cold temperatures. So today, we're going to be changing that. No more waking up to a -20 degrees tent. From today onwards, when we're winter camping, we're going to have a nice warm tent all throughout winter, allowing us to, go to bed, go to sleep, and get changed, all in the comfort of our rooftop tent. That is all going to be heated, with this. Today, we're going to be turning my old diesel heater build into something a little bit newer and a little more convenient for all our winter trips. That includes taking our old diesel heater and, installing it in this, a hard impact case. And if you've watched some of my previous videos, you're going to know exactly where I'm going to be mounting this. If not, stay tuned and you'll see at the end exactly how I'm going to be setting this up. With that said, let's go over everything you're going to be needing to do this build. First and foremost is you're going to be needing a diesel heater. I actually got the case off of mine, so this probably looks a little different to most diesel heaters, but this is what they are in the inside. Essentially a combustion chamber, a fan, and some sort of way to radiate the heat when the air is flowing by. So we're going to be working on this. We're going to be actually doing a few modifications to that to make it work in our case. This is probably what you're more familiar with, and this is just the casing where the air blows through for the diesel heater. Other than that, you're going to need a few things. Most of it comes with the diesel heater kit itself, but we're going to be doing a few upgrades. So this is the factory pump. We're going to be going with an upgraded, quieter pump with built-in filter to kind of reduce the amount of lines we need in this relatively small case. For me, I'm also going to try to make it a little more quiet. So we're going to be installing a diesel heater muffler. This is actually for the diesel heaters. So we're going to see how well this works on our ventures. And then finally, we're going to actually have fuel inside this. A lot of people love to mount the fuel on the outside, and I think that's a good idea. If I'm going on an overlanding trip and it's -20, that diesel might gel up inside the tank mounted on the outside of our impact case. So we're going to actually be putting a 2-liter tank inside that will allow us to keep it relatively warm when it's running. This tank should allow us to run 2 nights on high. Obviously, with the rooftop tent insulation we have installed and the way we are building this, we should never have to run it on high. We should be running it on a low setting, which should theoretically get us about 10 nights, if not more. And then finally, what you're going to need is the case that it's going in. So this is the 16-inch impact case. You can find these all over there on Amazon. I got mine. If you're Canadian, you know Princess Auto. I got mine at Princess Auto. And the cool thing about this, at least on mine, you want to confirm this, but it just perfectly fits in there. So you're going to see how we're going to fit all of this inside of this case today. First and foremost, you got to figure out exactly how it's going to lay out in one of these cases. So as I said, our 2 biggest components are, the fuel tank and the heater itself. So we have a few different things. First and foremost, figure out your inlet and your outlet. So typically your inlet has this mesh. So if you're installing it in a cab or something, you don't get stuff sucked in there. We're not too worried about that, so we're not using that. And then your outlet's usually smooth, so you can connect your hose. Figure out that, and then figure out the direction for all your ports. And then what we're going to do is actually going to place it here in the case. I have a case this way because this is the way it's going to be mounting on the car. As I said, you're just going to have to see how that works out. But essentially, we want it like that, and we want all of our kind of panels and stuff, our access to come out of the bottom here. So we have just enough room. As I said, it's very close to making this fit. You're going to have to get a little tricky, but I think I figured everything out, and I think we should be able to mount it up, no problem. Then you're going to want to take your tank, and you really have one spot to put it. We're going to go ahead and put it right here. But as you can see, it's a little bit tight. So again, we're going to be modifying some of these components to make it fit. But that's kind of what we're looking at. Tank up top, heater down below, and then we have room to, store your electrical wires or whatever, and, close it all up. So it's one convenient unit. The only issue is you'll have, as I said, ports out here. So what you'll actually have is the exhaust is going to be sitting right here, and then your inlet is, I'm actually probably going to stick that right there. No hose is necessary, just have it right on the bottom there, because this is our combustion air and not our intake air for the actual heater itself, which will be right right here. So that is kind of what our layout, our rough layout looks like. As I said, we have to do a lot of adjustments as we go because, well, one of those DIY projects that you kind of have to do that. With that said then, well, we got to start cutting into this case. I'm using a 2 3/4 hole for our inlet and outlet of here. Only issue is we have this little lid here, so I'm going to have to probably cut into that. I'll probably cut from the outside in, or the inside out, and that will allow us to cut on this lip a little bit. And then we got to go ahead and do that on the other side as well, cutting that 2 3/4 hole, and then go on the bottom and, well, work on the plate. So we got to modify again. Modify the stuff that comes with the diesel heater. We're going to be using the factory plate and using that to bolt it up. Again, cutting the holes for, well, just our intake and exhaust, because we're going to be doing something different with the fuel line here in a second. And our primary concern is this fuel line. I don't want it to go down below. I actually want it to come out through the housing so that we can fuel the heater inside without ever having to have the fuel go outside. So my thought is we can go ahead and bend this line. So I'm going to heat it up. And we had to block or take out this air intake because we had to go ahead and bend this line that's out here. We're going to bend it just out and then reassemble it so that we can do our bends later on. But I just want to get it out of the way before we go ahead and reassemble it. But also you can see the glow plug and, well, the basic controller for all of this. It's actually pretty cool to see. I've never actually opened one of these up, so it's very interesting. With all of our holes to the heater drilled in our case, we're ready to go ahead and install the heater. So as you can see, we got our inlet and outlet, and then we have our exhaust and intake parts, and then the mounting. So what we should be able to do is take our heater, which I also, you might have seen, ran our power line to this side and our fuel line. So hard line bent it up to here. So everything that when it sits in here is accessible on this side of the heater, because if we have it on the other side, then obviously it isn't going to fit. That said, before you go ahead and put this all together, you do have to put the top case on. It does not go together when you are got it all put together. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to give us some bad luck here. And I am going to take some aluminum tape and just tape anywhere where there might be some airflow, because we want to make sure we're getting all the airflow possible. So we're just going to take some aluminum tape, and I'm actually going to put a hose clamp on this side too, but aluminum tape the seams here, and go ahead, put the diesel heater where it's supposed to be. And with the diesel heater in there, we've got kind of the assembly ready to go. So as you saw, these guys just slide into here, a little bit of a press fit. And, well, we've got our intake, our exhaust, sorry, and our intake, we can go ahead. We do have to trim the housing a little bit. It's a little bit of a different size. I don't know why, but I think I'm actually going to cut this down anyway so that it sticks out the exact same as here. And it's kind of press fit, but I might use some aluminum foil tape to just tape it on the inside so it doesn't fly out when we're driving. There is supposed to be plugs that go on both sides here. That said, 2 3/4 plugs are almost impossible to find. So we're just gonna kind of run it as it is while I order some off of a warehouse, because that's the only place I can seem to find plugs for these. But if you're doing a 3-inch exit, you can find 3-inch plugs pretty easily, and it just keeps it airtight when you're driving. With that said, let's talk about fuel. So this is our fuel tank here, and this is gonna mount perfectly up here. I wanna make sure that we can fill it without opening the box and removing the tank. So we're going to drill a hole right up top here with the fuel tank on the bottom. So I'm going to, of course, measure that out, drill that out. And then once we have that, then it's running. We have a T here. I just got to go ahead and silicone this. And then we have 3/16 fuel line running into the side of the heater. I will probably aluminum foil this just because. And then with that, we can go ahead, take our pump, put our pump. Our pump's going to probably sit like right here and just have a line that spools here. And then all it is really worry about wiring and exhaust, and we're good to go. And with the tank all mounted up and easily accessible, well, on the top of the case, what we're left with is the wiring. And, well, I do have my harness from the old diesel heater, because that's what we're using here. And, well, I'm going to use the same thing. I'm just going to drill a hole. It's going to be on the exhaust side here, because that's all going to be running to the tent. Just put it through here. And then I am going to have to extend probably the pump line or these lines so that everything can attach. But then we have everything ready to go. Well, besides the exhaust, but you're going to see that in a minute. And then on the exhaust and intake, well, it's pretty easy. The intake, I'm just going to put this right here. I think it should be good enough for the intake. I don't think we need any of the silencer. It doesn't do much. And even though it's kind of by the exhaust, I feel like it should still grab fresh air. So tighten this guy down. And check that out. We have our super compact diesel heater right here, ready to go. And you might be wondering how this is going to go on the car. Well, if you watch my latest modification on my Forester, we put something called molly racks on the outer window, which means that we can go ahead and mount this on. So we're just put some screws through here and then it'll mount right on and it'll screw on and off onto that molly panel. But just to confirm that it closes, there we go. The only thing is you can't put it really down because you have this. I'm going to have to tighten that up a bit, but for testing purposes, we'll leave it. I think maybe some standoffs will be good. I just guess put some threaded rod through here and kind of hold it together, or just tighten it down maybe just a little bit more and it might stay on. That's it. That's not why you're here. You want to see this put on the car and running to see if this is right for you. And putting a few bolts through, we got it mounted up, and well, it is ready to go and on our Forester. And as you see, it doesn't even use the whole molly rack, so we can mount like a shovel or something on here, and we'd still have room. That said, we're going to go ahead. As you know, I'm using just one of these barrel connectors. You could just use the normal wire and push it through. I want a little bit of removability. I didn't drill it into the case because I do want to do a test run before I do it, but all you do is run it a hole through it, or you could, as I said, use a grommet and just shove the normal wires through. I am going to adjust my wire length here when I have the tent set up because I'm curious to see where I want to put the little sensor here, because right now the window, it would run right into the tent, right through the window, and then same with the hose. So I think that's good, but I just want to check. And then obviously we have our long power lead. I think I'm actually going to sleeve this here in the future, maybe on one of our Sunday live streams. That we hang out in the garage and we'll work on cars, because this is a good way to go ahead and just test it for now and then dial in this length later. Maybe I'll even put a power bank in the car, so that means then obviously we can run a shorter line. But for testing it and having it all running, this is perfect. That said, we gotta put some diesel in it. And right now, I don't want to put a ton of diesel in case anything leaks. So at the station, what you could do is you can fill it right from the top here. I think actually, yeah, if you put that like that, you can go ahead, fill it right here. I'm just going to use a little bit of diesel, make sure nothing's leaking. That's my main concern. And then once we have that, then we can go ahead, we got to prime it. There's a method to prime it. I'm going to have to look at the manual again. And then once we get it primed, we can fire it up and see if it starts after a year, because we didn't use it last year for our winter camping. And with that said, it's time to plug it in and see if it works. I got something. We got to go ahead and see if we can't prime this. I got the manual here and it's telling me how to do manual fuel filling description. So essentially, we hold the down key, then the OK key, and it should work. So I feel like this is the down key on this. But I'm going to try this. Press the down key and then the OK key. And then hit the up key. There we go. H on. So it's running the pump now and we're getting fuel. So it's reverse, but you hold down OK key, it'll click. And then it says H on. You hit up, which is your down on my side. And then you get the fuel pump ready. Oh, I am seeing oil, or diesel in this case. That is much quieter than the old factory pump. I'm quite happy with that. People say the green ones aren't that quiet, but the green ones with the filter seem to be relatively quiet. With our line primed, I know there's oil in here. We should be able to go ahead and hit on, and then I'm going to turn it right down. It's on. And I did some manual setting with these, so I could actually run it at 0.08 if I want to, but we'll run it at 0.7 for now. And we'll cross our fingers that it's going to start up. This is our core temperature, and we'll watch this. I think we have success. Maybe not full. It's running, but I have to open the garage door. That's hot air. It is running. As soon as I opened up the garage door, it kicked into, well, low speed mode. We're only at a core temperature of 80 degrees, but our exhaust is hot, and we have hot air coming out of it. And that pump's really quiet. With the case closed, we won't even hear it. And you know what? The loudest thing is now coming from the intake. Okay, that air is pretty hot, and we're sitting exactly where I want to be, right around 250, and well, we've been running for 15 minutes now, so I'm going to say that's a success, and this is going to be a game changer for our winter trips. And there we go. We have our diesel heater all ready for some winter camping. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of it. We have done tons of winter camping without it. And well, we've done down to minus 32 degrees without the heater. But I thought it was time for a bit of an upgrade. And well, to plan some more epic trips with the heat. That said, there's a few things to button up, so you'll see over the next coming winter trips that there'll be a few little things here and there, like I'll probably end up putting the end here so that we can do a recirculation, or we can go ahead and plug it, as well as tidying up some electronics and that. And while you're down there, don't forget to go ahead and let me know if you're planning on building something like this. I think this is like the ultimate diesel heater kind of camping setup because, well, you have it in such a compact package. It's going to last you, as I said, it's going to last you on 2 days on high, which is perfect for weekend trips, and probably a little bit longer with something like my tent and its insulated floor. And well, it's just the like kind of cleanest package available. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys do with that. So don't forget to go ahead and drop a comment down below. And while you're down there, check out the channel memberships for some exclusive perks, and Flat for Off-Road for getting your Subaru adventure ready. And I'll be seeing you guys in the next winter adventure. Well, when it starts snowing.